In this lesson, we're going to take a look at calculating with percents, specifically buying, purchasing items, and how different percents play into the shopping experience. Discounts, tax, tips, commissions, different percentages that will show up in the shopping world. The first one we're going to specifically look at is discount. Discount, if you're not familiar with it, when you can save 20% off, 25% off, commercials, TV ads, newspaper ads, anything that says you can save money. A discount simply is when the cost is lowered, lowering the cost by a percent amount. Why do stores do that? Are they losing money? Not if a lot more people buy the products because the price is lower. So that's why they're trying to lower prices, is so more people will buy them. What we're going to take a look at is an $85 shirt, 35% discount. So that's how much we save. And we're going to remember back, what equation do I want? I'm looking for the part, and I'm going to use my percent times the total. So I want to look at this situation, and you're going to be asked one of two things. One question you might be asked is, what is your discount amount? How much are you saving? One thing you'll be asked is, what is your discount amount? They don't want to know how much you're going to pay, they just want to know how much are you saving. So what I can simply do is take my percent, which is the amount I'm saving, 0.35 times my total, which is $85. Multiply those two together, and that's how much I'm saving. 0.35 times 85 equals $29.75. That's how much I'm saving using my percent equation. The other question you may be asked is, if that's how much you're saving, what is your new total amount? Now I know some of you might be thinking, okay, well if I know how much I'm saving, can't I just now subtract this away from my original total? The answer is 100% yes. This is how much you're saving, so go ahead and subtract it away from the $85. Not a problem. But I want to show you a faster way that will also get you the same thing. I still can use my percent and my total. The cost is 85, and here's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to put in my 85 here. Now I want you to think about this. Here's your t-shirt, or whatever, your shirt that's $85. If it's 35% that you're discounting, that's 35% you don't have to pay for. So if the whole shirt would count as 100%, and you're not responsible for 35% of it, so let's say like this sleeve you don't even have to pay for, what percent of the shirt are you responsible for? So if we do a little thinking in our head ahead of time, we could calculate our straight cost right away. So if you think about this, 35% I don't have to pay for. From the 100, okay, so that means I have to pay 65%. So what if I just go straight to 65? Because that's what percent of the shirt I am paying for. 0.65 times my total, which is 85, equals $55.25. Done. Okay. These would be the two ways that you would be asked about discount. One way is they would ask, what is the discount amount? All you need to do is take your discount percent times your total, and that will tell you how much you're going to save. The second thing you'll be asked, here's my total cost, here is my discount percent, what is my new total that I owe? What you can do is think, if I'm saving 35, let's see, out of 100, that means I'm paying 65%. So go ahead and just calculate what percent of the shirt you owe. Take that times your total, your original total, and you'll get how much you now have to pay. So this is discount. Let's keep going with this idea. The next idea you can talk about with percents, dealing with money and purchases, things like that, is tax. Tax is a raising of the cost by a percent, by a specific percent amount. Specifically, mostly sales tax. Pennsylvania has 6% sales tax on things that aren't considered necessities. Okay, so what that means is you're going to pay extra for whatever it is you bought, and then that money goes back to the state, and the state distributes that into state projects like roads, bridges, things like that. So we're going to take a look at that same shirt. No discount this time. $85 shirt, 6% sales tax in Pennsylvania. Again, from this situation, you can be asked two different questions. One, what is the tax amount? And that would be it. How much tax do I have to pay? Same formula. Part, that's what I'm trying to figure out, equals percent times total. What's my percent? 6%. Okay, 6% as a decimal. Move it twice to the left is 0.06. Times, what's my total? 85. Multiply this and I'll be able to figure out how much tax I owe. I may have to round to the nearest penny, by the way, I'm just saying, because money I'm allowed 2 decimal places, tenths, hundredths. 0.06 times 85 is 5.1 is what my calculator says. I got to make it into money, so that's 5.1 with a 0. That's $5.10. That's how much tax I owe. So not only do I have to pay the $85, I also have to add on the additional $5.10. And this is why percents work so well, because the bigger price item you buy, the more tax it is. Okay? So that's how the states get more money, is when people buy bigger items because you owe more tax on it. The other thing you'd be asked is, what is the total cost? Again, I'm going to show you a faster way to do this. I'm still going to take a percent times my total. My total is 85. Okay, here's my handy dandy shirt again. Now think about it. Normally, I would be paying for 100% of this shirt. Now I'm going to, but I also owe an extra 6% for sales tax. So not only do I have to spend money for 100% of the shirt, I also need 6% for the sales tax. So if I put that all together, what percent am I actually paying for? Let's see, 100% of the shirt, 6% of the sales tax, put them together, it's 106%. So if I take that and make it into a decimal, that's 106%, which is the same as 1.06. So again, thinking in terms of, okay, what percent of this shirt am I actually paying for? So that's 100 of the shirt plus the 6% added on. So I'll take my calculator, 1.06. This is 100 plus the 6, 106%, times 85 equals 90.1. 90.1, fill in to make money, 0. So that's $90.10. So again, these are the two ways you'd be asked. Now, you could have also, oh, I owe $5.10 tax? Okay, 85 original plus $5.10 gives me $90.10. Your choice. You could calculate the tax and then add it to the original, or you could just think in your head, what percent do I actually owe on this? Oh, 100% of the shirt plus 6% sales tax is 1.06. Multiply $90.10, tax $5.10 plus the 85 original. So these are the two questions you could be asked with sales tax. The next situation is tip, or sometimes called gratuity. Tip or gratuity is mostly when you go out to eat and what you're doing is giving extra money to the server for good service. Okay? Again, it's going to be a raising of the cost by a percent amount. So we're going to take the same 85, but this time it's a meal, $85 meal, and we get our check, and we get charged for the food and things that we've ordered. Now we're going to add in extra money for the waiter or waitress based on their service. Now, most times, we decide how much tip to give based on what the total cost of our bill is. So what we'll do is 20%, it could be 15, it could be 10, I'm just going to use 20 for this. We'll take and say, okay, if it's 85, I want 20% of that and I'm going to add it onto the total. Here again, I could be asked two different situations. One, what is the tip that you're going to pay on this? I'm going to use my same equation, percent times my total. What is 20% as a decimal? 0.20 times my total, 85, equals 0.2 times 85 equals $17. 0.20 times 85 equals 17. What's the other type of question I could be asked? What is my new total? I need a percent. I need my total, which is 85. Excuse me. Okay, think about this. Here's my meal. There's my plate of food, my cup, things like that. I'm paying for 100% of my meal, plus an extra 20% for the tip. So if I add those two together, 100% of the meal cost plus 20% more, what total percentage am I paying for? 100 plus the 20 is 120%. So I'm going to take 120%, make it into a decimal, move 2 times left, and I get 1.2. So let's go ahead and calculate that out. 1.2 times 85 equals $102. So these would be the two types of questions you could be asked. $85 meal, 20% tip. What's your tip? 17. What is your new total that you're going to pay, meal plus your tip? Oh, 102. Take a look at is the idea of a percent markup. What does this mean? Realize when you go to the store and buy stuff, most times those items were not made at the store. They had to be shipped in from somewhere else. So I want you to imagine a factory that makes whatever products. At some point they have to get to the store. Now what the store actually does, the store actually pays money to the factory to get the items in their store. So for instance, let's say they spent $10 for each box. So the box is now sitting in the store. Does it make sense for the store now to mark this as $10? It doesn't make sense. If the store paid $10 for the box and now is selling it for $10, what's the problem there? The problem is the store is not making any money. So what stores will generally do? And every item in store is different, but if they bought the box for $10, they may sell it for $15. So this person now is leaving having spent $15 on that box. Why is this good for the store? Because the store just made money. The store itself made $5. So that's the idea of a markup. Stores in generally take the products, they will raise them by a certain percent so that when somebody else buys it, they've actually made money on selling that product. So let's go through an example with this. And again, it's usually just one example. So let's say the store bought something for $25 and they're going to mark it up 15%. Okay? What is the new cost of the item going to, well, let me back up here a second. This could be split again. This could be split into two questions. So let's go ahead and split it into two questions. One, what is the markup? Okay, I can use my percent and total. Markup, percent, 0.15 times my total, 25. What is the markup? No, class is not over, that's just the bell. 0.15 times 25 equals, the markup is $3.75. Okay, so that's how much they're raising the price of the object. The other could be, let's erase this. The other would be, what is the new price? And again, markup, you could take this and add it onto the 25. It's a lot like tax, it's a lot like tip. But let's think about this. If it's 100% of the object plus 15% of the tip, all right? Not the tip, I'm sorry, but the markup, that's 115%, which is the same as 1.15 times my 25. So I have 1.15 times 25 gives me $28.75. Okay, so this is very much like tax and tip, where you're taking an object, increasing it by a certain percentage, and coming up with either what amount did it raise, or what is my new price altogether. The next one is commissions. Commissions is a certain percentage of the total cost that a salesperson makes. So for instance, here's you're looking to buy one of three things. Do you want small, medium, or large? And here is the salesperson who is there to help you understand about each object. This salesperson makes 10% of what you spend / buy. So if you buy the small box, let's say you spend $50 on that, he would make 10% of the $50. If you would buy the medium box, let's say that's $100, he would make 10% of the 100. Now, think right now, which one does he want you to buy? If you buy the large one, let's say that's $200, he makes 10% of what you spend or buy. So I think it's easy to see which one he wants you to buy. The more you spend, the more he might convince you to spend, he or she might convince you to spend, the more money they'll make. So let's take a look at this situation. I can still use my equation, percent times total. So let's say you do purchase the large one. 10% would be 0.10 times my grand total of 200. Would be $20. That's how much money that person would make based on you buying the bigger item. Now when you're dealing with commission, you're only usually asked, what is the commission? So there is only one version of this problem. You're not usually asked a grand total after that because it doesn't work the same in commission. It's just one amount. What do I make if you buy this? What do I make if you buy the bigger one? This is commission.